Obviously, it's also affecting directly what the government can and cannot do on a daily basis. And the arrival, as you said, of suicide bombings is one of the features is especially troubling and worrying in that sense. You mentioned, secondly, some comments about Al-Shabaab and the definition of control, who controls what. And I noticed your comment that their ability to control is one based on violence that a small number of people can do, and the government's ability to control is something that requires really an integrated approach that is far more complex to sustain. You also noted the concerns about the regional ambitions of Al-Shabaab and Al-Qaeda in the region. That's something we might come back to in terms of the questions it draws in Yemen and other countries as well. You talk quite a bit about development and the development plans that your government has for the country. And I think the way I took it, your reference to piracy, which as you said, you do not want to have dominate the entire debate about Somalia. But you did put it in a very different context, which is the context as well of the huge amount of illegal fishing that goes on off the coast of your country, and I might add around large parts of the African continent as a whole. In fact, I chaired a meeting here at Chatham House just 2 weeks ago on illegal fishing, focusing in particular, in fact, on West Africa, where we've seen the drugs and drug running coming in as an alternative to fishing. In your case, it's piracy. And then I think your final comment, that you don't want to be policed from afar from people who don't understand the situation, and the way that may be a better way for us to invest our resources in how we help you. And we need to be thoughtful about the kind of support we're giving and not treat this as a problem we try to stick our thumb into, but one that we have an integrated approach to with you. In any case, there were many other good points in your remarks, but I just wanted to draw those out. Maybe they'll serve for some of the discussion that we can have now. We have a good half an hour for questions. If you could please let us know who you are when you pose a question. Try and keep it short and make it a question rather than a treatise or a comment. There are microphones around the room which will be brought to you. But who would like to come in first and take the first question? See one here, then I have 2 questions there. The gentleman here first. Sorry, comfortably.
Michael Walls from Development Planning Unit at UCL. You mentioned at the beginning that the TFG has plans to restore peace to Somalia, including Puntland and Somaliland. What are the transitional government's plans for Somaliland?
Bullshit question.
Somaliland has been going through a little difficulties on the postponement of elections. I think they are planning, I think, willing to sit with them after they actually go through the elections and see how this open dialogue with Somaliland and see how this Somalia will be decided soon. I think we are very optimistic that actually Somalia is in life, political, as well as security situation are intertwined. You might be surprised if I tell you that the top 2 leaders of the Al-Shabaab in Somalia come from Somalia. I think Somalia everywhere have a really kind of an intertwined life.
Thank you very much.
Frank Gardner, BBC security correspondent. I wonder if you could tell us your attitude to the use of US targeted military intervention in your country. I'm thinking particularly about the use of unmanned aerial vehicles, the recent targeting of a suspected Al-Qaeda leader. Is this something which your government requests from the Americans? Is it something that they force on you, or is it something that you just tolerate?
I think the American kind of surveillance of Al-Qaeda actually has been ongoing before my government came to power. And I think that actually the problem is not when the Americans are kind of in going out. The problem is the people who decided, who are wanted throughout the world, decided to come to Somalia for safe haven. I think we welcome for the actions that was taken against people who were suspected behind the walls of the American embassy came. I think we welcome any action that can take out such individuals who are hiding in Somalia.
Can we get the question?
Ahmed Al-Shaybani from Libya and official spokesperson to Al-Jamma Media Center. I have a very romantic view of Somalia, and sometimes I wonder in my head what curse has hit Somalia. In the early 70s, my father was the Libyan ambassador to Somalia. And I remember I used to go to school and I used to sing every day, Abiga Rashada, Gaye Gayogo, But I have one question. I did not hear your point when you said your treasury is missing out on hundreds of millions every year. I did not hear this as a result of what? Do you think now there is an opportunity where Somalia could strike a deal with Ethiopia to give them access to a harbor so you can have legitimate, transparent income, and this would lend you more stability and security in the region? And my second point, if you allow me, Your Excellency, is I beg to differ as far as Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda in Arabic means the base, like the military base, and it is an illusion to think that a military base suddenly has sprung up in Yemen or in Somalia. It is an ideology. It functions on the internet. Yes, there is seepage of ideology in Morocco, Algeria, Egypt, Somalia. But the key question is, as with your title, Building Stability, my opinion, I think you need to tackle it at grassroots level, which is education. What's your plans to invest in education to tackle radicalism, specifically Wahhabism or Salafism? Because we in Libya, we have hired Sufi scholars to bring more moderate, romantic version of Islam, similar to the former Soviet Union Islamic countries like Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Azerbaijan, even Turkey. Thank you.